Chris Agere, the Director General, Flag Foundation of Nigeria. Good morning to you, sir. Good to have you join us this morning.
Yeah, good morning, PFM. Good morning, audience. Good to be here.
All right, so let's get started. I want to start off this way because on that particular day, if you go out and ask some people on the street or try to get the feeling of Nigerians basically on that momentous occasion, some say there is no reason to celebrate democracy in Nigeria. Is that the feeling for you? Are there causes you think that we need to celebrate Democracy Day?
Yeah, well, in some way, just yesterday at about earlier than this time, I was a guest at Federal Radio Corporation Politics Nationwide, where we discussed Democracy Day, presidential speech, and then 25 years of unbroken democracy. Yes, in as much as we made some progress, which I don't even consider progress. You know, this much talked about 25 years of unbroken democracy. The question is that, isn't that how we ought to be? What else should have been done? The military intervened in 1966, and they held on for as long as they wanted until they frustrated themselves. As at the time the military left, there was nothing more left for them. There was nothing more left for them to offer to Nigerians, because it became a mockery of accusations and counter-accusations among the military hierarchy. So their stay expired. For the fact we return back to civil rule, it's just how we ought to be. It shouldn't be a measure of progress as such. I think for me, you mentioned things in your opening remarks, you know. Do we have freedom of expression? Yes, well, to some extent we have, but we've also seen in the past 1 year how journalists have been, hunted here and there, though not to be compared to the military era. But the bottom line of all the entire thing, democracy, military rule, it's about good governance. It's about good standard of living about Nigerians, for Nigerians. Are Nigerians better off today in terms of the standard of living as compared to 25 years ago? Are Nigerians feeling more secured compared to 25 years ago? What kind of progress have we made? Are we succeeding in creating the enabling environment, which is the necessary thing required for in any given society, so that the citizens can explore their God-given potentials? Are we succeeding in that? A country that about 80% of its population is below the age of 35, are we succeeding in that? A country that is endowed with the greatest resource that God made available to mankind, that is the human resource. The greatest human resource is not oil, it's not gold, it's not anything you can think of. It is human resource that is embedded in the youths. Just look at Nigerian youths. The other day we had Children's Day. It was revealed that 42% of the population of the country are from 15 years down. Yes, Nigeria is a relatively young nation. It is work in progress. Nigeria is still a construction site. But then, a child that is delivered is expected to start working after 9 months to 1 year. And then it's expected to progress from there, on and on and on. But in all these things, who is to the blame? The political leadership.
Let me take it up from there, Chris, now. I would want us to juxtapose democracy as we have seen it in Nigeria play out in the last 25 years with what Abraham Lincoln defined it to be as the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Would you say that we have truly embraced it in the last 25 years? Or are we still that construction site which is still in progress?
Well, government of the people, by the people, for the people. Is that really what we have? We never had a good election. We've seen how our elections are modeled. The elections are the avenue through which the people can speak through their votes, through the ballot box. So I think what we have now can be, if you see democracy as defined by Abraham Lincoln, a government of the people, by the people and for the people. What we have is the government of the elite, for the elite, by the elite. The average Nigerian person, what does he gain from government? That's just the truth of the matter. You take, for instance, Abia, my state. I am from Isialangwa South. Well, thank God for at least the governor that is showing the way of making good progress. But the average, take for you for instance, you as a citizen, what is it that you benefit from government? Is it free health care? Is it good health care? Is it education? Is it security? These are the indices for measuring what you see a government of the people, for the people, for the people. What we have is government officials, politicians. It's just they're the ones appropriating the entire thing. They are the ones that determines what happens. They are the ones that live large for themselves and their cronies. The average Nigerian has no place. I'm sorry to say that. Yes, I may be considered an political elite, but I'm in the civil society's place. That is where I decide to play. You know me with the election observation. You know me, we'll get to that. The new national anthem is my idea since 2011, all in an attempt to bring about a sustainable and equitable egalitarian society where there is fairness, where there is justice, where there is equity, where we can cohabit, coexist, each person doing his own thing, contributing to the whole. Yes.
Well, let's look at it from another point of view. The blame, a lot of persons would say, is on the table of the elite because they have apparently failed to do the things which we regard as needful to steer the ship of Nigeria towards the right direction. Across all levels, from the national to the subnationals. However, would you assess the citizens who are equally part of the democratic rule as having embraced democracy, having played their own role, having participated across the board to enthrone good leadership? Or you think, oh yeah, theirs have been compromised, they have barely participated? How do you look at this part?
Well, it's a misgrade of some sort. First, we have a grossly weak and undeveloped political system. One of the things we do in the society, in the Flag Foundation of Nigeria, we're publishing a booklet that is designed to, for the citizens. It's titled Understanding Your Rights and Your Limits Under the Constitution. The average Nigerian, educated and non-educated, are not aware or not conscious of his rights, his privileges, as well as his duties and responsibilities because of poor political education, political consciousness. One, he was not taught to be so. So he is disconnected from the system. Otherwise, we say sovereignty belongs to the people, power belongs to the people. Even constitution itself we're allowed to recall a serving senator, a house member, or assembly member that is not performing. That's where people knows their rights. What we are doing now is making the people understand their rights so they can be more conscious of their own rights as well as their privileges. Then their constitutional duties, obligations, morally, legally, as well as responsibilities, all go hand in hand. Because the people don't understand this, that is why you see during the election, for instance, somebody will accept 2,000 naira or 5,000 naira, for his vote to be traded upon, not knowing that his vote is much more than the central bank. So there is improper political education. Now there is poverty. I remember one occasion observing an election in the Ekiti state, and I just see as they were, trying to tactically buy vote. There was one girl I was targeting as they were calling her. At the end of the day, they succeeded in giving her something to vote. And I cornered her. I said, why did you do this? She showed me, it says 5,000. He said before she could get 5,000 in this village, virtually all the boys want to sleep with her. So why would she not do that? That is poverty. And also ignorance. So, yes, people are also guilty. But I can excuse the people because of ignorance. Because of ignorance. That is it. And the political elite are not interested in educating the people so that they can come alive. That's why we say power corrupts. Absolutely, power corrupts. Absolutely. When there's no check, among the patriotic duties expected of a citizen is to hold leadership accountable. Hold leadership accountable. Demand aspirations and demand for answers. I tell you, I give you one instance. Look at Port Harcourt Road, Aba, the major road that divided Aba into two. A major road that for 8-9 years, Port Harcourt Road was closed, inaccessible. There you have a sitting government, you have an assembly member, you have a senator, you have a rep member. Above all, you have the people. For 8 years, Aba people could not protest for that road that had been closed. And Igbo man has an adage, Eliwuzo liwehi, ma pruzo, halehi, ehi weri cha, uzo agawa aga. Meaning, keep the cow and the road. I will take the road because journey through the road is endless. Whereas the cow, you can finish eating it. If Aba residents were conscious of their rights, that there was a sitting government, they were not supposed to sleep when the road through which they pass, a major road, were closed because of both government unwillingness or failure to fix that road. These are examples of when people are not conscious of their rights, when people are so ignorant, when people are disconnected from the system. That's why I advocate, whatever you do, be politically conscious, participate in the political process, belong to a political party, then, show interest in what government is doing. Even as is happening in Gambia now, as the state governor is being celebrated for doing well. Yes, I congratulate him and I thank God for that. At the same time, that does not stop you as a citizen to ask the state governorship, the state government questions and where you feel you don't understand what is going on. It's your right, it's your duty, it's your responsibility, it is legal, it's constitutional. But it can only be possible if, and only if, you know.
I mean, looking at the fact that, like you said, the people appear to be ignorant of what they should do as a key stakeholder in terms of democracy, in terms of governance in Nigeria. And maybe the political class may have seen that loophole and leverage that to do things the way they think is appropriate, only to suit their own bargain. Is that what is happening in terms of our governance, looking at the last 25 years from the national to the subnational?
Well, that is, you have just said it all. You ask the question and provide the answer. That's it. So you've had the issue of using poverty as a tool, as an instrument to control the people. To be honest to you, so somebody who have not eaten as they wake up this morning, that doesn't know what he's going to eat, that doesn't even know where he or she is going to go. What are you talking about? His first priority is food and how he's going to get it. That is why you see, from councillors to local government chairmen to assemblymen, then talk less of rep members, senators and governors. That's why you see a governor presiding over as if he's an emperor, forgetting that it is the people's mandate. They only remember the people when the election comes with bags of rice and all those stuff. That is why they deliberately have decided, that's my view, they deliberately have decided to disempower the people so that the average politician, as I'm talking now, just 1 year old, they don't know what they are talking about. Paramount in their mind is the next election. The money that they are supposed to appropriate for the goodness of the people, they are keeping it because they know, say, when the election comes, the person will hunger food in belly. He doesn't care about good governance. And that is it. But then, like with the Flower Foundation, We are doing our best to educate the people, to let people know, look. I mean, it's not for your sake, for the sake of your children's children. We should come alive to our duties and responsibilities as free citizens. That's the thing. One of the things you see in our side of the world, the Southeast, everybody is like pushing his business, showing is doing how to survive. They don't have interest in politics, and that is why you see never do worse taking over political leadership. I'm sorry to say that in the Southeast, that is why you don't see meaningful, sustainable progress for the past 25 years. Say, for instance, Abia State. 25 years of democracy, for God's sake. What do you have to show? What do you have to show in Abia State? Before now, is it good road? Is it good schools? Is it good hospitals at cottage distance? Is it people's empowerment? What do you have to show? Then, compared to the amount of monies that have run in trillions accrued to the state government from the federation account for internally generated revenue, what do you have? You have 5 individuals who presided over the affairs of the state, who are larger and richer than the state. Is that how it ought to be? I'm sorry, I'm talking this way because I am involved. I am, as a philosopher, as a civil society person, I have to speak my mind. And that's just the truth.
Let's look at democracy once again, Chris. And the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu, has been around for an awful while to know quite a lot of things which has transpired in a decade or more than a decade in this particular country, more so as it has to do with democracy. And it has left people asking if it's the kind of democracy that our forefathers fought for. I mean, considering the tenets of democracy for what it is worth, inclusion, freedom of speech, with some people still behind bars because they've spoken up for issues or state of the nation or one thing or the other which is not going to plan. Do you think that our forefathers, those who are present and have gone beyond, will be proud of this particular kind of democracy? Or is it just that it evolved in the Nigerian demeanor?
Well, talking to the Mr. President, who himself was a beneficiary, direct beneficiary of the democratic process and democratic struggle. I remember quite well the G34, headed by Alex Ekweme. I doubt if Mr. President in his broadcast therefore yesterday ever mentioned his name. I remember at Ikoyi Hotel where the G34 members gathered, the military invaded the place. Everybody ran away. Ekweme was left alone. He was the one that now led to the formation of PDP when eventually the military, had nowhere else to go other than to return to the barracks. We consider the President Tinubu as a progressive. We consider him as the father of true federalism. It was always stated that now God has given him the opportunity. As I said yesterday, we're talking to the nation, that he has very rare chance that's not common, just like Obasanjo. All those things that he thought that are the ideas for democracy, for society, we are waiting and looking up to President Tinubu to bring them to bear, including freedom of speech and freedom of expression, including freedom to association. That is what we are looking up to him. And yesterday I also challenged him. I said, look, bring these things to bear. You talk about true federalism, true physical federalism. Talk about restructuring. You talk about creation of state police. You talk about local government autonomy. For me, in the civil society, we will lead the bandwagon to support him. In as much as now, because of the hard economy, I don't totally blame him. Putting Professor Charles Soludo, the governor of Anambra State, he re-echoed it as day for yesterday. That look, what President Tinubu inherited as economy is a dead horse standing. Dead horse standing. The previous administration of President Buhari did more harm to Nigeria than any other time. It did more harm. The economy was completely destroyed. National security destroyed. National unity destroyed. It's a tedious tax for the president. Oh. It is a hard nut for him. But what can we do? We have to queue behind him. At least on the next 3 years, he will still be president. A day below 3 years. And so I also canvass for people to rally around the president and go support him. Yesterday, I also reiterated that the president should try so much to engage citizenship engagement, bring the people on board, rebuild national cohesion that was destroyed during Buhari era. You know, bring rule of law to bear. These are the enablers. But unfortunately, what we are still seeing is that government people, politicians that have access to the treasury, are still living as lords, are still living as billionaires, whereas the people that voted them are dying of hunger. It doesn't balance now. It doesn't.
Chris, isn't that the reason Nigerians have been up in air in terms of the introduction of the new national anthem? They've questioned that development. They say, is that going to change the attitude of our leaders? Is not going to translate to the reduction in the price of staple foods in the market, so much so that they can purchase them, have the purchasing power to get these things over the line and feed their family, at least to live? Talking about the new national anthem, Nigeria We Hail Thee.
Yeah, well, the new national anthem, fortunately for me, is a prayer answered. The Flag Foundation, under my leadership, when we celebrated the first Nigerian National Flag Day on the 16th September 2011, called for restoration of the old national anthem. Restoration of the old national anthem. Thank God it has come to pass. As a matter of fact, it was me and asking for the civil society. I presented a written memo to the Senate Committee on Public Hearing for that new national anthem. I was the only one that presented a written memo. Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Chief Mike Ozikome, also made a very strong appeal in that regard. And he said, he confessed in 2011, through the Constitutional Conference of 492 eminent Nigerians, he raised it as a motion and it was accepted. All of them agreed that yes, the old national anthem should be restored. In as much as it's not going to bring down the price of fuel, in as much as it's not going to bring food on the table, but man shall not live by bread alone. For a nation, a young nation like this, nations, great nations don't just emerge. They emerge out of well-articulated views, systems, laws, rules, symbols, among which is this. Flag Foundation, supporting this. Meanwhile, before we end, I would also want to sing it so that listeners can hear and then learn from there. We also say not just to learn the new national anthem, but to live it. To live it. You know why I'm at the forefront of support for it?
Tell us.
Yes. Are you with me?
Yeah. Tell us. Go ahead.
Yeah. The new national anthem is it's a solemn oath by every citizen, including the leadership and the led. And it is designed that you, as the leader, must amend your ways. It marks a new beginning. It marks a new beginning. If you look at the relics and the rhythm of that, if you look at the relics, which I crave every Nigerian to please look at it, you read it dispassionately, interpret it yourself, you find out that it has all that is required to make good citizenship. Or if and only if we learn and live it. In going to the church or mosque, the way you comport yourself, the prayers you pray, for us Christians, our Father who art in heaven, who are taught in primary school, in the name of the Father, the Son, and Holy Ghost, and so on and so forth. This was taught, it has formed part of your life and living. It becomes those things that brings alive your what we call autonomous morality, that calls you to caution when you err, that brings you to question yourself, why am I doing this? Why should I do this? So the citizens by this empire, by this anthem, is empowered to also further hold their leadership accountable. When a leader is misbehaving, you raise this before him or her. Say, look, this way you are doing, is it in consonance, is it in line with this oath which every Nigerian has taken in contained in the new national anthem. Yes, these are Nigeria as a developing nation, as a young nation, is better late than never. It's a new beginning for us. It is a new beginning. And because naturally, the way Nigeria is going, the way we are moving, individually as Nigerians, collectively as a whole, is not sustainable. There's no nation, there's no empire, there's no kingdom that has gone the way we go as a citizen that survives it. So something happens along the line towards, changing our ways, attitudes, behaviors, conduct, ethics, to make us conform. You can agree with me that the attitude and behavior, the way of life of the average Nigerian is simply unacceptable to the expected conduct and behavior ethically demanded citizen. Whether you are in the leadership position, whether you are among the led, say for instance our civil service from states to national. With due respect to them, are they not? They are among the greatest problems of Nigeria.
Why would you say so, Chris?
Yes, the attitude. Good ideas, they will put it under the decision because it's not personally benefiting them. How can a system progress like that? They are not even passionate about their work. I mean, and so after visiting a government office, you get discouraged. What this anthem brings us back to the patriotic point.
Okay. If you're just tuning in, it is the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions. And this morning we have actually traversed from the democracy, talking about 25 years of unbroken democracy and elements which could potentially affect our democracy in the next 25 years. I'm talking about the anthem, and you are going to be part of the conversation down the line. However, before I get to the point where I will open the phone lines and get you involved, and let's hear from you what you feel about democracy and the cause of its flight at this particular point. I quite agree with you, Chris, in terms of the impact the anthem could have in the long run on Nigerians. However, the worry remains the politicians, our leaders, how well they are going to take to the anthem, how well they are going to allow it to influence what they do in terms of the level of governance which Nigerians are going to experience in the next 3, 4, 5 years, and even a decade.
So that is why we should hold them accountable. If you lead the politicians, our duty is to checkmate them. Our duty is to checkmate them, to call them to order where they are. In the first instance, on whose mandate? They are there because you send them. They are there because you voted for them. So you power research with the people. Nigerians across board must come alive to the duties and responsibilities for citizenship. If Nigerians continue to wallow in their brutality, nothing will change. The people must have to wake up. People must have to rise up. People must hold their leaders accountable. They may not like it. Doesn't matter how many are there in number. That's why I keep saying, look, it's just because Nigerians are not. Look at what is happening in Argentina. Look at what is happening in Argentina. The protests. We're not saying we should go that way, but if it becomes necessary, you protest. If it becomes necessary, Justice Soputa said, look, no slave master is ever willing to let go the slave. Never. If they tie your leg, tie your hands, seal your mouth, frown your face so that they will know the people must do a sign that they are not happy with what is going on, so that leadership will know that, look, we can't continue to do things this way. But then, if you permit me, I'll sing the anthem. And I pray that
we'll get to that point anyway. Let's try to see if our listener will get involved in the conversation now. So you can call us 0808182649 or 0811605949. It is the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
My brother, remain lifted.
Go ahead.
And they just remain blessed. Excellent is my name. Well, 25 years about corrupted democracy are 2%. Next year,
Move away from your radio. There is a bit of an interference.
I don't see anything. When the Jonathan were in power, nothing, Buhari, nothing, even this current president now. Back in other states, the man there, I guess, has spoken well. Hello? I guess has spoken well. Well, instead of you mentioned of ignorance, in other states, I didn't say anything there because people shouted. People shouted. Let me use Petronas as an example. Petronas demonstrated when they were going 59 years moon. They demonstrated. They were all arrested, tortured and detained. My parents were involved. I'm talking to my parents, my father and my mother. Even one piece of my father will be you can see that even being that was you see a journalist saying good, yes, internet will be arrested and detained. So people were took up as past administration.
Wrap up your thoughts now.
In the one radio station said that the government was favorable.
All right, thank you very much.
At that point,
thank you very much.
I think that now, this governor now is being the needful. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. This is Kelvin calling all the way from Afugiri.
Go ahead.
I actually want to throw my what guest said. I want to say something about it. He talked about Nigeria coming up. You know, we are still growing. But my question is, how long are we going to continue to be saying that we are growing? Yes, we will grow. How long are we going to say we are growing? To take a look at Nigeria, Nigeria happens to be giants of Africa, but Ghana has gone ahead of us when it comes to infrastructural development. Their naira is ahead of our own. South Africa, the same thing. Others are leaving the country to Ghana, ordinary Ghana, to look for greener pastures. But we are here. It's never fair. The way see Nigerians now, we are suffering. Hunger is killing everybody. Nigerian naira is as trash.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your contribution. It has been noted. Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for joining
Mr. Bob on the line.
Go ahead.
Mr. Bob on the line. See, the truth of the matter is this. What has been happening in Abia State all this while? This the government now is trying to reverse it. What I mean by that is that Abia State has been experiencing cabal leadership, and now that a governor that has emerged, that is calling the shots, that decides to do the right thing, things should be replicated at the federal level, because until we get the president that decides to do the right thing outside the cabal in good, it will not get better. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think you are taking responsibility if there be a cabal influencing governance at the national level. That's according to him. Good morning.
Good morning, Wisdom.
Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning again in the house. My name is Mohammed Abbas from Government College, Uma here. First of all, let me say something about this new national anthem. My brother, the problem we have today in Nigeria is not national anthem, whether anybody like it or not. Sing this national anthem 24 hours. Wow.
We lost that particular call. Mohammed Abbas, do call back 0808182649 or 0811605249. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Moses.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, asking question. I think you ask again. How can we the democracy? I think we effectively deriving the center of democracy from this call to democracy. And after this, that is no longer democracy. for the people, the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. The rather is the government of daily, by daily and for daily. I want to take it from there. The government of the organs, and remain to be for the organs. Then you now, can you count, or can you just figure out anything you have benefit from this government?
I think we're having issues with the network. I'm going to go back to Chris. Gary has been listening. I'm sure you've been hearing from our callers. They've been reacting to what we've put on the front burner this morning. What do you make of their reactions so far?
Yeah, of course, people will always speak their views as it haunts them the most. The point is that there's so much emphasis about the anthem. As a matter of fact, that's not their problem. That's the least of their problem. And so for those who don't like the anthem, if you are in any event where the national anthem will be sung, will be rendered, you just walk out. You know, like one woman that were sitting down when that's not the new act, the new law for the national anthem also specifies how the average citizen should stand when the anthem is going on. Yes, there is hardship in the land. That's the truth. But there's one thing that people don't know. I tell you, miracles are of God. Miracles are of God. There is no magic. There's no magic any political leadership is going to do in Nigeria that can turn things around immediately. Nigerians should be prepared for the worst. That is why yesterday I spoke challenging the president to galvanize and mobilize the people, that people should rise and take their destinies into their hands. The criminals that are with headers or bandits that are ravaging different parts of the country that people can no longer go and farm, what is their percentage? The moment the people rises up, all those things will come to an end. The challenge that government faces is government is still doing their thing in their own way, as with civil servants, leaving the people. People must be brought on board fully by the government.
Let's take further reactions.
Yes.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm very happy hearing from you. I'm listening from Cross River State.
Go ahead.
My name is Jake Owen. Actually, all is not yet lost. Nigeria will bounce back. I'm not a politician, but I believe that we should support the government of the day and rather give constructive criticism. I wish to say that each geopolitical zone in Nigeria has to move forward, should be upgraded to regions and administrated as such. And also the electoral system should be allowed for the people to participate, and the will of the people, should stand. And also, like this local government issue with the federal government in the court, they should allow the local government to exercise their governance as a local government, so that we can see whether that is where, because the local government is very direct to the common man. And I want to plead to my Biafra brothers that please, this issue of Biafra should be brought, should be let low. Now the Kanu and Samuel Ekpa should forget about this matter. Let's already talk about state creation and resource control and fiscal federalism. By that, this political
thank you.
Nigeria can move forward.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution. Chris, this particular caller raised issues of importance, and I want to get your reaction before we continue to take calls. The issue of electoral reform, the issue of constitutional review, are they things that should happen perhaps imminently in order to change the course of our travel? Or maybe these two factors could influence better democratic leadership in the nation for the next few years?
Yeah, that's the truth. Well, the Deputy Speaker, House of Assembly, who happens to be the son of Abia, is also the House Committee, yes, on electoral and constitutional amendments. Yes, so far he's doing well. The certain sections of the the constitution must be amended. Let's say, for instance, the local government autonomy, which the federal government are gone to courts and then states and all that. For local government autonomy to become a reality, aside whatever the Supreme Court will rule as a court of policy that becomes the law, then the section of the Constitution that makes it mandatory for state and local government to joint account must also be amended. So constitutional amendment, certain section, it's a necessity. This will be presented today about regional tinkering with regionalism and so on and so forth. The constitution must be amended. Some are saying that we don't have a constitution, we should just jettison it and then about a new people's constitution, because what we're operating is a disjointed constitution with contradictions here and there. That is compounding our problems. Then electoral reform, me as an election observer, I'll tell you the truth, my experiences, practical real life experiences during the election, moving from one polling unit to another, from one political ward to another, I can't come out to air it. I cannot say it. It goes on to show that, look, electoral reform must be a necessity. It must be a necessity.
Do you think that can happen under the leadership of the current president, Ahmed Bola Tinubu?
It is only a matter of political will. If the President Bola Tinubu, whom God has made possible for him to be president, this is one of those things that will make him write his name in gold, that history and posterity will reckon him with. At his age and how far he has come, it should no longer be after whether it doesn't even affect his second term, if he so desires. Okay. That is one thing that will go down well in his name. Electoral reforms is a necessity. It's a necessity.
Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Wisdom.
Thank you, Alvan. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning to your guest. Yeah, I want to ask him a question, because he talked so much about the new national anthem, whether it's old one, but we have a new national anthem. How it will mark the new beginning of Nigeria in terms of the lyrics and the message it passes. So considering the condition of things, do you think, you guys still believe that this national anthem will achieve that end, considering the kind of mindset of the people in terms of the way the state of the nation? And again, is it enough for people to continue to blame the president, about this hardship, even though more money, in fact, times 2 or 3 of what they used to receive in the past? So is it enough to continue to blame the president on this current hardship? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alvan. He will surely respond to that. Good morning. 08081826949 081160529949. Good morning.
Good morning, Moses Ben.
Wisdom Thomas, thank you for joining us.
Good morning,
Go ahead.
Thomas. I'm okay for Chinedu. I'm calling from Oman. Yes, let me start with the issue of electoral reform. Our democracy can never have any shape, any good shape, if we don't reform our electoral act. We must get it right through getting a good electoral act. That transmission of election results must be made compulsory. It shouldn't be optional. Then when we talk about, if I think we are developed or we have reached to the extent of making electoral voting compulsory, it should be there. And we must provide everything that is enshrined into that act. Now, let me talk about the issue of type of minimum wage and the level of governance we get from our leaders. I think the new constitution will be very much better. We have over-amended this constitution. There are so many loopholes, and our leaders are leveraging on those loopholes to deal with the people and to cripple our democracy. We must get a new constitution that will match with the current challenges Nigeria is facing, that will strengthen all our institutions. Because as far as I'm concerned, we are running very weak institutions that cannot stand to fix what we are facing today. There must be a way the people should hold the leaders accountable. That is the only way forward.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution. Let's take another call. Good morning. Good morning.
God bless you.
All right.
Yeah. Also, I was like saying that something that the government will do to benefit the people, to supply the life of the people. When they're not doing it, that means you are not practicing democracy. That's what I'm from. Then again, looking at the administration pattern, assuming that they want to maintain this democracy, they would have started by cutting down the high rate of governance, number one. Two, they're supposed to look into that their jungle allowances. That's the only way they will start from. Then I see also about that color, the pointed at the issue of our electoral act to be strengthened. That's another one. Then again, the structure is the most important thing, because this time around, we're looking at this, now we have centered everything in the federal government. I think things are not moving well. They must have to bring it down to the structure. Then if they restructure the country, you will see that everybody on their own, we know what they are producing and what the percentage they will be going to federal government. Then lastly, I must have to say this. The issue of this administration, what they call it, Tinubu, saying that he's going to help to fund youth. That's another thing. We need to know that it's not talking about democracy. The thing is talking about democracy. Youth would have been benefiting now. And now, can you grant or mention of any youth that benefit from this company? Because the youth, this insecurity we are having today, when he was campaigning, no mention of the youth. They're going to give a massive employment to the youth. So for now, you are not even derive anything from this administration. So there's another area.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Now, for insecurity, we thought, but the people are claiming that youth are the one bringing this disaster, violence and everywhere. So we must have to make sure that it does not that aspect of youth being employed and engaged. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you very much. This one coming through will be the last we will take on the platform this morning. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Wisdom.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mohammed Abbas.
Yeah, that's all about network cut me off. My point is that I say the problem of Nigeria is not national anthem. That's the reality. Because why? The more our governors, you can see when they are owing civil servants from 20 months, 15 months. Why even level they are calling for them to pay? It's very difficult for them to pay. And the real allocation every month for federal. But to pay civil servants is very difficult. And the college is so money. This is national anthem. When even you are thinking 24 hours, brother, if we don't have full leadership, our politicians are not listening to that national anthem. What we did in Nigeria is full leadership. That is the point. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mohammed Abbas. He said, what Nigerians need is good leadership. I'm coming back to you now. Let's get your final thoughts. I mean, try to kind of munch all you've had in the latest reaction, and if we have time, because we are closing in on 11, you could take a part, an excerpt of that anthem. Go ahead now, Chris.
Well, it's all right. One of them said the issue of blaming the president. In as much as the blames on the president, probably because of the first this major policy of petroleum subsidy withdrawal and the floating of the currency. Yes, that was I spoke against that rally. The way it was done, that is what has stated the problem of the country. People should ask the state governors. The money they are receiving now is double what they were receiving before out of the petroleum subsidy. What are the state governments doing with the money? That is, instead of looking at the president, they should ask the people what they are doing with all the humongous excess money that they have been receiving. That's all I have to say to that.
Okay.
Yes. On the issue of the national anthem, permit me to sing.
Yeah, let's hear it. You have a couple of minutes, anyway. Just one.
Yes. You say what? Nigeria, we heard thee, our own dear native land. Don't try and turn me for in brotherhood we stand. Nigeria's all and proud. to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace over to all, not and this we count as gain. To have unto our children a banner without stand.
All right. I think we have to stop there, Chris, because of time. Thank you very much. Enjoyable. We hope that the lyrics of this anthem will be translated into proper governance, dividend of democracy, good standard of living, education, which is capable of curing the menace in our society, job creation, and furthermore. Thank you very much for speaking to us this morning, Chris Agiri, who is the Director General of Flag Foundation Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let me sincerely appreciate my producer, Samson Eze. Thank you. To Charles and Stanko behind the visuals. Thank you. This is how far we can go on the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions. It will make a return on Monday, same time, same station. Until then, Nigeria is ours. Let's contribute our quota to build a nation where peace and prosperity will reign.